20,000 horsepower. Line up. There's your predicted pit stop strategy. Let's get set for action. 18 drivers on the grid here for the Tier 1 Championship in ISRL Esports, getting ready for the 5 red lights to come on in just a few moments' time. 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. Let's get set. And the lights are out, and away we go. And Jay Fletcher gets a good start. Jer with an even better start, coming into turn 1 on the inside. And Jer will take the lead of the Grand Prix. And it's Sweet Crown 19 in third. Somebody's off track. It's a Haas off track. And I don't know who that is. I think it's Dewell, who's had a terrible start to the Grand Prix. And here we go. It's Jer and Jay Fletcher going on side by side, coming into turn 2. And look at that, a switchback. Jer still takes the lead of the Grand Prix. Sweet Crown 19 right on the back of the Alfa Romeo, and it's been a crazy couple of corners. Here goes Jay Fletcher on the inside. They make contact on the inside. Still is Jay Fletcher. They're going side by side through now into the second sector, still side by side. What racing on the first lap, and there goes Jer back into the lead. Jay Fletcher in second, Sweet Crown 19 in third, and it's fourth, a little bit further behind for Gurman. And now they're about to come through the first couple of corners here, and Sweet Crown 19 is still falling very closely to that Alfa Romeo. And whoa, look at that, almost hit the back of the Alfa Romeo there as we begin lap number 2.
And if you look at the gap between 4th place and down, there's about 3.5 seconds between Gernman, and then a huge train of cars between Josh, Mr. Cool, Sofian, Sonev, Biz Racing, ISRL Carter. They're all right behind each other in a really, really long train of cars, all the way down to Dan Murphy and Isaac Kush. Watching right now as they're all within a very, very close gap to each other. So this is a battle for the midfield that's definitely going to heat up here.
Oh, here comes Jer. Is he going to make a move on the inside? No, staying patient. But again, Jay Fletcher goes really wide out of the turn, and that again gives an opportunity now. And here we go. Jer goes to the outside line. Going to come into turn number 4. Can he make the move around the outside? Brakes late, and look at this side-by-side action, and Jer takes the lead of the Austrian Grand Prix away from Jay Fletcher.
Tires all the way up to about 14 or 15 laps if you want to run a one stop to a medium tire after that.
And
so
Gurman,
Sofian needs to close in.
Gurman pits. So early pit stop for Gurman. I haven't seen my graphic pop up just yet, but nonetheless he makes a pit stop early, and there's, I think, a penalty being served right now as they're not touching that car, and he's going to put on the hard tires.
Sofian loses the car out of turn 1, had to catch the back, and now he's really under pressure from Biz, who's going to go down the inside into turn 2. Let's see if he's going to make that one stick. They're side by side, and they touch a tiny little bit on the exit, but they seem to be... Oh,
here
my
comes
God,
Isaac now as Biz Racing has an incident, and now Isaac might make the move around the outside. They're side by side into the turn. Look at the dive bomb. There's contact and a spin from Biz almost as he catches the car, but moves down to 10th. ISRL Carter will take 9th position away, and now side by side of Dan Murphy, and now down to 11th. A terrible few couple of corners. Now going to try to make a move around the outside of Dan Murphy, still side by side of him, and then though moves down to 11th. So Biz Racing has had a terrible moment there, down to 11th.
And another driver making up some good positions, Dan Murphy. He's closing up very quickly to Biz Racing.
Jay Fletcher goes into the pit lane. First pit stop from the leaders.
Jer needs to put in some really quick times right now if he's going to continue on, and then he'll be in a good position to take a pit stop later on. And Biz Racing himself is actually right on the back of Carter as they're battling for 5th position. Biz Racing is going to go down the inside, but I don't think he's going to be close enough. Is he going to dive bomb him?
He is. Side by side with Carter. He might have the advantage out of the turn, and he does. What a sensational move from the AlphaTauri driver. Biz Racing moves up to 5th.
And now Carter needs to be careful because Dan Murphy is closing in, and he's seems to be managing his tires very, very well. He's keeping his...
Jer pits. Sweet Crown 19, does he go into the pits? No. So Sweet Crown 19 will take the lead of the race. Jer goes into the pits, reacting to the pit stop from Jay Fletcher. So I'm going to ride on board of Jay Fletcher. Does he get ahead of Jer in the pit lane?
Jay Fletcher is in clean air right now, no traffic, good time for his pit stop, so he's in a very good position, and he's going to be coming out. Yeah, he's going to be way ahead of Jer.
Oh boy, a big blunder from Jer as Jay Fletcher gets well ahead of him, and now Sweet Crown 19 has to put on the charge. And this is a really tricky battle right now that is going to cost Jay Fletcher. Ooh, tries to get ahead of Biz Racing, but does get a little held up. Now gets the better traction. Maybe trying to make a move around the inside. No, he does not. But now Dan Murphy has troubles, and Biz Racing will go on the inside of Dan Murphy. And now Jay Fletcher is going to... Oh, no, there's contact! Jay Fletcher into the wall! And that's contact between Biz Racing and Jay Fletcher, and he is now behind Jay, just ahead of Sweet Crown 19, but that's a disaster for him trying to make a move on Biz, and it doesn't work. And there's big damage on the front wing.
And he also got a 5-second penalty for speeding, but all of this is now falling into the hands of Jer, who's now moving around the outside of Dan Murphy into the inside of corner 2, and he's up into the 3rd position after he's already made his pit stop on a brand new set of those medium tires, which we expected to take until the end.
A battle. Josh 2 gets ahead of Knight, and now there's a battle down the order as look at this duo on the inside of Sophian and makes the move and gets ahead of him. And it was actually Duel who went fastest in the first sector with that slipstream battle now. And I think now Polis is going to try to go on the inside of Sophian, and now Sophian... Ooh, this is getting close. A little Albon and Hamilton-ish almost there, but Sophian not in the gravel trap like Albon had it, and now in 10th.
And now Police is putting on the pressure on Knight as well, so they're going to have to make some moves as soon as possible. Knight is defending.
But he might make a move on Gurman as well. Is he going to make a move on 2 drivers? Contact between them. Big lockup. Off track goes Gurman. Now Knight may have to yield. Is he going to try to overtake his teammate? No, he does yield. But that was some contact between Polis and Gurman. Ultimately, Gurman went off track because of the contact.
Look at Crush keeping to Mr. Cool. He is within 0.3 of a second. He's got DRS and the slipstream coming up the hill right now. He's going around the outside into turn 2, around the outside of Mr. Cool, and he gets the corner beautifully, and he is now ahead into 3rd position. So I think this is going to be a big fight that's going to go on until the end for this last podium spot.
As here comes Dan Murphy. Gurman had a problem coming up the hill now. No DRS not activating right now for Dan Murphy. I don't know why he hasn't activated the DRS. Maybe trying to have that battle right now as Gurman gives as much little room as possible. And ooh, right now though, Carter and now Dan Murphy gets a slingshot out of turn 3. They're still side by side. Here comes Gurman on the inside. Hard tire versus soft tire. This should be an easy move for Dan Murphy. Dan Murphy, and there's contact. Gurman and Dan Murphy, and there's a piece of wing that has come off the car, and Dan Murphy is retired on track with the contact between those two. Now, he's going to pull off track now, so the car will not remain, but that was some contact between Gurman and Dan Murphy, and I had to tell you right now, as I said before, Gurman, if you get touchy with him, he will get personal with you, and that got personal. Dan Murphy, though, retired on track, and that going to have to be investigated after the race.
Sophian goes for a move around Knight, and he takes away 12th place.
Not just yet.
They're still battling.
Knight now putting it around the outside. Got better traction out of turn 3. A little bit ahead into the turn. Brakes late. Can he keep it around the outside? More contact between drivers on that turn. And now Knight has the yield as there was some contact at the front wing and the rear tire of Sophian. No, he's going to save it. But he might make the move anyway. Going to try to go around the outside. Knight squeezes him and not able to make the move.
Again, a little bit of wheel touching there, so these two are just too close to call at this moment in time, and we're not sure about how penalties are going to affect everything at the end of the race as well. But there goes Sophian.
Makes the move around the outside well before the turn. No overtake activated for him despite saving it a little bit. Now Knight goes down to 13th. Final few turns. Jer will come across the line to finish in 1st, but what will happen with penalties? Sophian and Knight are still battling down the line. We'll be there in just a moment as Jer is going to come across the line right now. The checkered flag waves, and Jer will win the Grand Prix. Here comes Sweet Crown 19, and yes, Sweet Crown 19 takes the win of the Austrian Grand Prix. Still a battle right now between Knight and Sophian. They're still side by side through the first couple of corners, and what a battle right now till the end of the race. Gonna keep on board of them. Kush finishes in 3rd, 4th for Mr. Cool. Josh moves up to 5th. Penalties from Sonev. And then Mr. Cool It's Duo in fourth. Will finish in fourth. Now a final turn, penultimate turn. It's Knight on the inside, so Fion might lose it out. But now across the line, look at this finish, and it's Sophion who gets that victory of 12th ahead of Knight across the line. What a battle! Driver of the day is Kush, and I can agree with that one as Kush. What a drive to get on the podium.
I have to absolutely agree with that graphic. Isaac Kush, absolutely the smartest driver on the grid today, doing a great job of making their way through the field and timing those pit stops and everything else. So I think well-deserved podium, and only up to go from here.
And it is Sweet Crown 19 who wins the race on penalties. Jer finishes in second. Isaac Kush rounds off the podium. Here's the rest of the grid order there. It's Duo in fourth, fifth for Mr. Cool, Josh 2 in sixth, seventh for Gurman, 8th for Sonev, Biz Racing in 9th, 10th for Polis, 11th for Carter, Sophion in 12th, Knight is in 13th, 14th for Jediant, 15th for Jamian, and that is rounding off the top 15. 16th for Dan Murphy, who has retired. So did Jay Fletcher, and so did Lewis. And that is unfortunate for those drivers. But all drivers who finish score points today